Well, let's go ahead and get started.
I am never gonna pee again!
When these dads meet world, watching Boy Meets World. We grew up on the show, now we have kids and host a podcast. We watch each episode and then share our thoughts and grades. When these dads meet world.
They want you to take the roles.
Welcome back to Dads Meet World, your weekly deep dive into that 90s classic known as Boy Meets World. I am Tyler, one of your hosts, joined as always by Dad number 2.
I'm Brett, just your average boy.
Yes, and we're never going to pee again.
That's right.
I always appreciate when you throw in a little snippet of a clip that I'm not expecting it, and all of a sudden it just hits me, and it hits me in the feels, Brett.
Oh, good. I love doing that.
Yes, so Brett, how goes it? What's new? Anything you want to rant about? We haven't done a rant in a while.
No rant. Let's see. My boss is out of the country for the week. So,
Party.
well, he said as long as the confetti's cleaned up by the time he's back, we're good. But no, I'm getting
That's
all
no
of
fun.
He's in Seoul, Korea. So they are 12 hours ahead. So I'm getting all of his emails at like 8 and 9 o'clock at night. So I'm kind of like half paying attention to them and half checking them the next morning.
That's fair.
But yeah, we had a good Easter. It was a nice, quiet Easter for us. My brother came up. We had a nice, quiet dinner. And we were talking off mic. My senior, we did not do senior pictures. So I just before we were recording earlier this evening, in fact, just before we hopped on, I finished editing. Did a quick and dirty senior photo shoot in our backyard. Benefits of being a photographer: you can do your own stuff.
Yeah.
How about you, Tyler? How goes it?
Oh, it goes well. Just dealing with the life with 3 cats. Honestly, it's not been bad. It's just, could you hear him? What's that look for? You started making that noise, and I'm telling you, she turned and looked at me like I was making the noise. Yeah, just the interactions of these animals is so fascinating. I don't even know how to describe it, Brett. I always believed I was like a dog person. I was like, I'm a dog person. I'm a dog person. I've picked up enough of my dumb dog's turds on my floor, and I go, I think I'm a cat person. I'll deal with the kitty litter. Fine with it. Just, I think cats are better at this point.
Yeah, there you go. Nothing wrong with that.
Takes up less of my couch.
And still wants some cuddles.
Oh, yeah. I still love my puppy dog, though. But no, we had a good... What is the deal? Are you okay? Sorry. Back to the podcast. Easter's good. Kiddos got to experience and have a fun Easter. Everyone was dressed cutely and similarly, and having her first Easter was so wonderful, and had this little cute dress. And the day before, my wife was like, I'm gonna go get a sweater for her because it's gonna be cold, yada yada. She goes into one of the stores and comes out to me. She goes, so I didn't see a sweater I liked, but I saw a jean jacket I like, and I was gonna wear a jean jacket. So would it be outrageous to buy a jean jacket that's a little pricey? And I was like, I think it's okay. Hi, can you stop looking so angry? You're distracting me. So yeah, well, we had a really nice Easter and a very good time with family and friends. So, Brett, should we talk about the average Cory?
We should. Let's talk about episode 5 of season 6, Better Than the Average Cory, wherein after Cory is introduced to art prodigy Alexandra Nikita, he develops an inferiority complex and blames his lack of skills on his quote-unquote average father. Meanwhile, Alexandra, lonely, touring without anyone her own age, befriends Morgan. This episode was written by Patricia Carr and Lara Runnels, directed by David Kendall, originally aired October 23rd, 1998, and currently enjoys a 7.4 rating on IMDb, drops zero point 0.2 points lower than last week's episode, and is currently tied for 19th place in this season. So last week's episode brought us 12.09 million viewers. What do you think the art sensation stunt casting brought us, Tyler?
Well, if I'm a betting boy, knowing the way this show works and the way the audiences were in the 90s, I'm assuming we went down a little bit. So let's say like 11.5.
You're very close, 11.67.
I'll take
it. All right, well, it's all yours then. Take us away.
All right, Brett. We start off at the Philadelphia Museum. And they're not doing nothing to you.
This is going to be so fun for the people that are just listening to the audio version.
It's going to be like, and this is what I think about the episode.
If there's ever any pause, it's because Tyler's cat has decided to go crazy and he's just staring at it.
Yeah. So, at the art museum, one of the things that always irked me, Brett, was last episode, Feeny was basically kind of indicating of maybe he might pick up a couple classes and kind of relieve some pressure from Dean Bollander's schedule.
What class is he teaching?
He took a class that Topanga and Cory are in to the art museum, and they're gonna pick a piece and share what they think about it. Like, what is this class?
Yeah, I was like, are we talking art history, humanities course?
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking a freshman level course. Is it really taking something off of Dean Bollander's plate to be teaching a freshman level course?
Right. I mean, the only thing I could think of, Brett, is that there was a college trip planned for freshmen to be able to go to the museum if you either didn't have a car or if you wanted to carpool, but explore Philadelphia art scene. This is how you do that. Only problem is we know for a fact they've been to art museums before, so why are they there?
Yeah, and why is Cory so bad at interpreting the art again?
Right. Yeah, we established at one point that he is like really good at understanding art until he actually talks about art.
Yeah, until we have to see him actually talk about it.
Right. It's like we don't want to show that Cory is intelligent, Brett.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
We've got to show him as just pedestrian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Sean and Angela just show up?
Mm-hmm. Are they not on the tour, or are they on the tour and just late? I mean, did they carpool and come in later? What? Anyway.
Yeah, I have to imagine that this cannot be a class. It can't be, Brett. This doesn't make a lick of sense.
Yeah, let's headcanon it as some sort of orientation trip.
Yeah, that's the best way to look at it, I guess. Um, yeah, because outside of this, there's no class. It's just this moment. We go to the college for the dorm for 5 seconds, but we're barely there. This kind of feels like first week of college still.
Yeah, I mean, they're in class. Angela's got a graded essay back already. She got an A on her essay for. I loved the joke, maintaining your black identity when having a lot of white friends.
Yep. And apparently, Sean's a part of the photography program.
Yep.
I mean, that makes sense since he
I thought the
has
whole
this.
reason was he was going to take some classes.
Correct. He wanted to take some classes specifically to help his photography interests.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
We're not starting off great here, Tyler.
Right. And Topanga goes, because Cory says, "Oh, I have great news." We're like, "Yeah, so do we." And Topanga goes, "Oh, Cory, what's your great news?" And he goes, "I found a penny." And Topanga kind of gives us a, "That's nice." Like,
she's not been great the last episode or so.
no, and this episode is not helping that.
No, she's going.
I mean,
She's going through a dip.
I will say, in an episode like this, especially when they want the Matthewses to be involved, the stuff in college takes a dip in quality and quantity. It's like Cory can either have an intense moment with one person at a time, and there's no time for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really having a hard time balancing people out.
They are. Yes, but Cory volunteers to give his interpretation of a piece on the wall, Brett, and there's just random, let's just say, side character, like, it looks like someone who's just supposed to be a background actor, like, staring at him while he talks about it. And she's like, "That's not right." And the first time you watch this, you go, "I'm sorry, who are you?"
Yes, and
So
who
Brett,
this is
who is
actually
this random girl?
yes, this random day player is actually Alexandra Nikita, who is the artist of the piece that's on display, a art prodigy. Only appearance on Boy Meets World, only acting credit in all of her career. She was a guest on a couple other shows where she was like an art panel judge for a kids show or something, that type of thing. But
Mhm.
this is the only acting she ever did.
Right, as she acted as herself,
Exactly. She was
a
herself.
dramatized
And
version of
and
herself.
and not even, yeah, I mean, a little dramatized, but not even like a caricature of herself like Will Wheaton on The Big Bang Theory. Just pretty much just coming in and being herself.
Mhm.
Yeah, Cory
But
is. I won't say what I wrote in my notes. Cory is being, but he's a jerk.
he is absolutely being a jerk. But okay, I will say her artwork on the whole is very much an interpretation, and it's her interpretation. But if someone interprets her art, it doesn't mean it's wrong.
Well, that
Similar,
raises the question: if an artist creates a piece and has a specific message that they're creating the piece for, is it open to interpretation?
should be.
Should it? If it's created with a specific message in mind, should it be open to interpretation?
I don't know, Brett. There's a bunch of movie critics that would say yes.
Well, I don't know if I trust most movie critics these
I
days.
agree with that. But my thing though is I kind of like, especially, well, knock on wood, where we are right now in America. It's understandable that Cory under his understanding of student loans, may go, there's pressure and death of the American way. Anarchy, higher taxes.
Mm.
But yes, he looks down upon her and says, "You're a little girl." Now, she's what, 2 years younger than him?
She actually is. Alexandra is the same age as Morgan in real life. She
Is
actually is. Yeah. Yeah. She's only about 2 months apart from the
Wow.
actress Morgan.
Okay.
From Morgan's actress. Yeah.
That threw
She's
me
just
off.
tall.
Okay. Well, I will also say it throws me off because she graduates from he graduates from high school. All of a sudden it's like she's in high school, middle school-ish,
Mm-hmm.
Like all of a sudden she's now trying to date boys, and you're like, where did this come from?
Yeah. You got to age the characters up.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, so
had
he
those
talks
kind
down
of
to
murky
her,
years.
even though they're almost eye to eye. But Feeny recognizes her immediately. I also like how she refers to him as a mean man. He goes, "Oh, I'm Mr. Mean Man."
Oh, keep talking. I'm going to enjoy this.
Mm-hmm. But it gets revealed to Cory that this is actually the artist, which, let's be honest, Brett, how often do you go into a place and you go, I don't think I like this, and the person that poured their heart and soul into it is standing right there?
It's not often. Now, if it's a showcase of their work, there's probably a chance they're there. And
Fair.
if he had taken the time to look at the name plaque right beside the piece that has her photo on it, he might have been a little bit more prepared, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and okay, Brett, let's throw this out there. Let's say this is a sponsored by Pembroke event as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so she is intentionally there. The university is aware she is there. Feeny is aware she might be there. The only one that doesn't realize it is Cory,
Mm-hmm.
which is accurate for him.
Yeah, he's pretty obtuse.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely has been lately.
And I do love Brett. He goes, "I got your nose." It's not really your
It's not
nose. It's
really your
my
nose.
thumb.
It's my thumb.
There's an awkwardness to Cory this episode. I do find endearing, Brett.
It's almost office level cringe.
Yes,
It,
he's very
it's
Michael Scott this episode.
it's that type of cringe that's enjoyable. It's annoying, but it's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. Now, Brett, I will go ahead and take the stand as the official Cory apologist for this episode. Any complaints you have for Cory, feel free to send them my way, and I'll talk about them. I am aware that this is not Cory's best episode, and I'm very much aware this is an episode that people look back, and even me in the past have gone, I don't really like Cory this episode. However, now with age and wisdom, I can say Cory's not fully in the wrong this episode. I said fully. We'll get there, Brett.
I'm interested to see how we get there.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. But yes, Mr. Feeny reveals who she is, and Mr. Feeny says, "I'm such a big fan of your work." Um, I will confess right now, Brett. Up until the point I did deep dives, I did not realize this young lady is actually a famous painter.
Mm-hmm.
I was under the impression it was just some random girl that they gave a random name to allude to someone else. Didn't realize this was a stunt casting situation, and it kind of turned the episode for me a little bit, Brett, of understanding of maybe why certain things had to happen this episode.
Mm.
So yeah. So how do you feel Cory handled everything after he realized what's going on and who she is, and Feeny basically saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm inspired by you."
Oh, I think he probably handled it about as gracefully as he was capable of handling it.
Very nice. I agree. Brett, we transition over to the Matthews household because they say, "Hey, she's about as young as my sister." She goes, "You have a sister?"
That's right.
And for some reason, whatever adult is responsible for her said, "Yes, you go with this young man who was just insulting you."
You go with him and see his sister,
Yeah, I have to
Mr.
hope that
Mean Man.
Feeny went with them, maybe
He had to have at least vouched for them.
right. Like all of a sudden, just Cory alone with this young lady. Like, I'm sorry, you don't ever have a famous person go alone with one person.
Yeah.
Unless that their job is to drive them around.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to
Yes.
assume that they're out in the side yard or the driveway talking with Alan and Amy.
Oh, could be. Very much could be. I mean, she could have her own driver, so she could have said, "You get in my car."
Could have.
So yeah, we learn that Morgan knows of who Alexandra is because of Rosie O'Donnell show, apparently.
Yep. Yep.
We learn a little more about her, that she, was given crayons at 2 years old and just kind of went from there and wouldn't color in the lines and would color her own stuff and kept being handed new challenges and just kept putting out really unique art.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently Morgan learned pretty young to ignore Cory and called him a loser.
Yeah. Thankfully,
Brett,
not
do
a
you remember the
loser
day when people
freak.
used to put their hand on the head and go, loser?
Oh, yes. Same days as, whatever.
Yeah. Well, people would go, whatever, loser.
Yes. But thankfully, Cory is not a loser freak like his brother Eric.
Loser freak, loser freak.
And he
Yes.
doesn't like boys, if you know what I mean. Or doesn't like girls, if you know what I mean.
He doesn't like boys. We know that for sure.
I think he likes. Oh, no. I totally butchered that.
That's all right. But the girls decide to go play Banjo Kazooie.
Banjo and Kazooie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
we
they're
know
going
the
to go play
Matthews have a
that.
PlayStation.
Yeah. Or a 64.
Was that on 64?
I thought I saw it was available on 64. I don't know.
I don't remember.
I never played it, so.
I played it a few times, but it was always on a PlayStation, so I don't know.
Could be. I can add it to my checklist as we're going through the deep dives. So yeah, Sean just walks in.
Yeah. Just there's a lot of this. This script could have used one more pass to tighten things up
It's
a little bit.
it's a little rough.
There's a lot of people just showing up when they want to show up. There's a lot of bad character motivation, bad character behavior. But anyway, we press on.
Yeah. We finally go to the apartment, Brett, where apparently in our one of two scenes, Eric has to pee.
He does.
But he doesn't want to leave Jack alone with Rachel. He doesn't trust her or him.
Because they're still fighting over her.
Yes.
Even though last week they came to the realization they needed to not try to create romantic tension.
Uh-huh. So apparently they have economics together. Or at least she has economics as one of them, because apparently she has to figure out the value of the Russian ruble to the Asian market. She's like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
So economics is apparently one of their classes they're doing.
Yeah.
So Jack forces Eric into drinking some more water. So he runs to go use the bathroom, which,
Oh, yes.
good looking people, don't ever hold in your pee like that. That's not good for your health.
That will hurt you.
It will
That will
hurt
hurt
you.
you so bad.
It will hurt you so bad. But the moment he leaves, Jack turns to her and goes, "Marry me."
We're back to my least favorite subplot for the apartment.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he says, "Marry me" before he comes back. But yes, so Rachel tries to talk with her mouth full, which again, don't do that. And she
Good looking
starts
people.
choking.
Yes. She's chucking
And
to death.
yes, she's chucking to death. And she writes it out, and Jack gives her the Heimlich maneuver. Right as in the middle of that, Eric walks out and screams and tries to stop him.
Gets the piece of food that's lodged in her throat, gets a mouthful of water spit on him,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
gets to shout,
I am never gonna pee again!
Yeah. Honestly, one of my big annoyances with this episode is there is no real sense to when this episode occurs in the timeline of the show, because all the stuff they're doing could literally happen anywhere over the next few weeks.
yeah,
So it means nothing
exactly.
for both stories.
Yeah.
So, yes. So Rachel promises that she owes Jack.
Her life.
Yes. And apparently the boys both realize what that means.
Or they think they do.
Yes. But we can't talk about that yet, Brett, because we got to talk about Cory's participation trophies.
Yes.
Brett, did you ever get a participation trophy?
I got a few. When I played intramural soccer, everyone got trophies at the end of the season.
Fair.
Do I still have them? No.
No.
I
I
got
got
rid of them
one
years ago.
and I was trying desperately to get rid of it, but by the time I was getting rid of it, it just like kept going into a random box. Finally, Grace was like, "Dad, this is a trophy. This is your trophy." I'm like, "Yeah, I want to throw it away." "No, we can't throw it away." Like,
Yeah.
honey, it's a trophy that means nothing.
Exactly. I look back at them and I'm like, yeah, this is from the season that my team went 2-8. Okay. That's from the year that my team won one game. All right.
Yeah. So let's just talk about it, Brett. A lot of the adults that Cory was doing things with just kept giving him random trophies for a bunch of different placements that don't require trophies.
Mm-hmm. I'm largely anti-participation trophy
Hmm?
for the most part.
Hey, I'm all for you completed the season, you did a good job, you stuck with the team. Here's a ribbon. I think that's fair. Trophies
Here's
are
your
different.
team pizza party.
Yeah, exactly.
But if everyone gets a trophy, then the trophy itself is not important, and what's the point of having
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to go to the trouble of keeping score and keeping team records, what's the point of why do it if you're not going to make it mean something?
Yeah, exactly. Well, this past flag football season, I only gave out 2 awards. One was for most improved player, and the other one was for like team. It was like the Heart Award, I think I called it, for like basically our MVP. And so I had the actual team vote on the awards, so it was based on who your teammates voted for to get the reward. So
Mm-hmm.
and they got footballs because I like those type of awards of here's something that your whole team signed, and it's something you can take with you and probably smudge it out at some point. But I still have a award I got years ago that was a football, so
Mm-hmm.
it's gone to every office I've ever had. So yeah. Blah, 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 blah. I do love as they're going through the trophies. Sean goes, "Where's the head? I smashed it with a hammer."
And I did clip part of their conversation.
I know I'm supposed to make you feel better, but what kind of loser saves all these things? Because this was me, Sean. This is me. Mr. Average. My room here is a shrine to my mediocre life. Oh, let's stop right there, okay? You don't have a mediocre life. There's nothing about me that separates me from anybody else. Nobody ever put a paintbrush in my hand when I was 2. Nobody ever helped me find out what I was talented at.
The iconic Cory standing by the celery poster.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. But he's Mr. Average. No one ever. He's blaming everyone else for not having a sense of his talents and skills. No one ever put a paintbrush in his hand. No one ever told him what his skills and his talents were. It's all everyone else's fault for him not having a sense, for him being in his identity crisis right now.
Yep. I mean, but Brett, we've talked about this now for how long are we doing this podcast for?
Oh, a few years now.
Right. Let's just say 2.5 years. For the last 2.5 years, we've talked about the fact that Cory is trying to figure out who he is and what actually motivates him and where he fits in.
Mm-hmm.
So from the first pilot episode being 11 years old to today being 18 years old, he still has no idea who he is and what actually brings him joy and happiness.
Progressed all of maybe a foot in that search.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's
they're legitimate. They're legitimate questions that everyone asks and everyone goes through. Now, granted, a lot of people will go through this sense of identity rebuilding during college.
Mm-hmm.
They won't be as dramatic about it, most of them.
Right.
But college is a time where the identity is reforged. High school is a time where it is formed, and college will often reforge it. So they're legitimate questions. It's a legitimate time to be asking these types of questions. But Cory is taking this quest, and between the lack of patience and wanting everything right now, and his desire to turn everything up to 11, we get 22 minutes of, wow, that's just too much.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing, Brett. We're rushing what normally is like, let's say, a month into your freshman year, where you kind of have a bit of a crisis of, what am I actually doing here? What's the purpose of me being here? I was told get good grades, get into college. I did that. Now what? I'm here. I'm in college. And it's nothing like I hoped it would be. So what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of accepting that I'm in a place I'm going to have to work harder than in high school, and maybe my life isn't exactly what I wanted it to be at this point, I'm responsible for me, and I'm responsible for my own actions. Instead, he's going, well, no one ever pushed me and no one ever forced me to do anything past what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I do love, as we go downstairs pretty quickly, he would say, well, why didn't you ever do this? Well, why didn't you ever do that? And they're like, you didn't want to.
Yeah.
Like you made choices, and we honored your choices you made.
Yeah. Kudos to Alan and Amy for not forcing Cory to go through with anything that he didn't want to, that he wasn't passionate about. That if he lost interest, he lost interest.
Yeah.
By the way, this is the last time we'll see Cory in Eric's former bedroom.
I thought that was the case.
Yeah, this is the last time we'll ever see a good-looking people.
Because it comes in nursery soon. I will say, the way that Cory reacted last season, you would have thought that that bedroom would already look like a nursery.
Yeah.
Like, it almost feels like it's hey, the next time you're over, you need to go through your stuff and figure out what you want, because otherwise it's going to the garage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're halfway there.
Yeah.
This is probably the day where he's doing that.
Could be. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they forgot this episode that Amy's pregnant.
Maybe. I'm also glad to see that Alan and Amy are not forcing Morgan to do the talent show if she doesn't want to do it.
Right. Well, that's the thing is Morgan says, do I have to do it? It's like, no, but we believe you have a beautiful singing voice. You have a gift. You should share it.
Yeah.
Like, they make it sound like she sings in the house all the time, and they're like, we'd love for you to sing because we know how good you are, but we're not going to force you to.
Yep.
Yes, but apparently, one of the things we didn't mention is Cory was good at the ukulele.
My dog has fleas.
And so when he goes downstairs, he says, "Oh yeah, I'll let her give up on ukulele lessons."
Yeah, and here's where a lot of people will lose a lot of any grace they have for Cory is when he tears into Matthews into Alan. And I clipped this part of it too.
You know, why didn't you ever push me to be anything great? You didn't help me find out what I was good at. And I do not want to be one of these people, Dad, who has no first place trophies and no special talents. I mean, why didn't you want me to be better?
Better? Better than what?
Better than what I am.
What are you saying?
I'm saying better than this.
You mean better than me?
Yeah, better than you.
Cory?
No, it's just, I'm never going to be great at anything because I was raised to be average. And I'm average because you're average.
Now, in Cory's defense, he started a spiral upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that's the medical term, but that's what we refer to in our household. When one of us, either me, my wife, or my son now, will start to work ourselves up, and we're in almost a vortex of our thoughts and ripping into ourselves. And eventually, if we're not careful, we then rip into the next person near us.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like Cory is going through an identity crisis. He first meets someone who is extraordinary, which I'll admit, I've never met anyone who's super extraordinary, that's like world famous extraordinary. So I'm not sure how I would react to that. But he's questioning a lot about who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Common in college, as we've talked about. But now he is in his home, in his childhood bedroom that's about to become a nursery. And he walks downstairs and he's hearing stuff that I think maybe as a kid he heard and thought, well, my parents are being supportive, and they are. But now he's turned that around in his spiral saying, sure, you're being supportive of her now, but you're never going to push her, and you should have pushed us. You never pushed us to be more. I would argue that he did push him to be more, and they talked very openly about you should go to college, and we want you to go to college. We didn't go to college, so that's a dream we have for you to help you do that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there are many, many times over the series where it's evident that he has been pushed to be more than Alan or Amy were, that he has been pushed to go beyond just being average or just existing, but to do more, to be better. So, I mean, it's not reality at all that Cory is seeing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I will say this is a powerful moment for all of them.
Hmm.
One in which Cory in the spiral should not have been home and directing it towards his parents. It almost feels
No.
like in a conversation with Topanga, he should have revealed these feelings he has and then worked through what does this actually mean. But instead, he's in front of his dad and says, I wanted to be better than you.
Hmm.
Um, I think Alan kind of broke in that moment because instead of saying what he would normally say, which is, my dream is for you to have a better life than I have and not struggle the way I had, what he heard was, my dad's a loser and I'm ashamed of him. And I'd be ashamed to be
Yeah.
just like him.
Yeah. And we don't see Alan's anger. We see a very quiet Alan, very
Hmm.
reflective Alan in this moment, which is almost more dangerous than angry Alan.
I think a sad Alan is always scarier than an angry Alan.
Yeah.
A hurt Alan is a good way to put it.
There you go. But then Cory
Um,
goes and searches the caverns of his soul.
yes, it does. Okay, that does bother me that the next scene is Sean at the door of their dorm because apparently they drove separately.
Well, he walked in after Cory to the house, so he got there separately from Cory, I guess.
Yeah, somehow the two of them got separated, and Corey is in the dorm before he could. He locks
And
the
had
door.
time to install a deadbolt.
Yeah, I don't know. Um, and then yeah, she's trying to convince him to come out, and he's ringing his keys, saying the ice cream man is here. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot, Brett. I have to show you something. So let's back up for a second. One quick second, all right?
Okay.
Blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna text you right now a picture, something I noticed from this past episode that we're discussing.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to put this into our into the edit, feel free to, or a much better of what I have. Did you get it?
What Sean's snacking on while
What's
Cory's
what's he
having his
snacking
meltdown?
on, Brett? Say it. What's he
He's snacking
snacking
on
on?
pudding.
He's snacking on pudding. He gave Cory a hard time about snacking on pudding in college. He's a college boy now, Brett, snacking
Yep.
on pudding.
Cory's big boy now.
Yeah. Okay, this is the part that is going to help my argument, Brett. Sean is a bad friend this season.
Oh, yes.
We started it after the second episode. We've had 2 episodes so far, and now this episode, 3 episodes in a row, where he is a bad friend. And we are
Mhm.
not going to have a good friend, Sean, until, unfortunately, his dad dies.
Spoiler alert. Yes, good
Oh,
looking
yeah,
people.
sorry. If those that didn't know that. But yeah, people have a problem with Cory this season. They're like, he's so dramatic, he's so extra. He decides to interrupt his sister singing a song. You know, all these things you can say about him. But Brett, who brings him balance in his life?
It's usually Sean. It's
And
supposed to be his best friend.
right. And so his quote unquote best friend, his roommate, Sean, he's supposed to bring him balance. They're supposed to share things, talk stuff out, and make things normal for him. And what does he do, Brett? He mocks him constantly. He assumes the worst. He taunts him when he's in actual like psychological pain. Like he is currently in a depressive state because he knows he really messed up. Like he said something that could destroy the trust and good relationship he has with his dad. Last
Mhm.
year he pushed him. He knows his father's strong, he can handle getting pushed. What he can't handle is his son telling him, "You're an embarrassment and I don't want to be like you."
Yeah, I mean, he assaulted him physically last year. Now he's assaulted him emotionally.
Right.
And at least
So,
he has the presence of mind to understand that he went too far.
right. And at no point does his best friend, Brett, while he's in his spiral, look at him and go, "Hey, you know what I would love? For my dad to be average. Because my dad was a drunk and he was never around."
Hmm.
He goes, "I never had the chance to have average parents, Cory. You did. Stop looking at it as a bad thing."
Yeah. And I think he might they and this is where the script needs another pass. They could have had that opportunity there. They should have had that opportunity there where his friends should have been providing that perspective. I mean, look at Topanga's parents, at least
Yeah,
what we know of them up to this point.
yeah, they're not average.
They're not average. Sean's parents, far from average. I mean,
Hey,
we don't know
Angela's
anything
dad, we
about
don't know this
Angela's
yet,
parents up to this point, but
but later on we'll
looking,
know, not average.
we will know eventually not average. But if nothing else, the three of them should be able to offer Cory encouragement and compassion and reassure him that if nothing else, his parents being average brought him stability that none of them were able to experience growing up.
Right. But instead, the focus is on Cory, you're great, you're unique, you're special.
Your
How am
dad
I
is going to
unique and
brush it
special?
off.
Right. They keep going, "You're so
They're
nice."
letting him keep wallowing it. As much as he realized that he said he went too far, he still believes what he said. He
Uh-huh.
still means it.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
But
they're all
right
just
now,
sitting there
he
feeding
doesn't,
into it.
no one has said to him, being average is not a bad thing. Having stability and your two parents who are committed to each other, love each other, and are provided you nothing but love and support is not a bad thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this one needed more time to bake.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm standing in my lane of Cory is going through something right now, and his
Yes, he
best
is.
friend, who should care about him, doesn't care.
I won't disagree with you.
I do love when they're like, "Go talk to your father. Your father's a great man. He'll understand." They open the door, he's there, and they're all with
All
so
freaked
much
out.
fear on their face.
Get in the car. Very quietly get in the car.
Mhm. Oh gosh, yes. Ba, 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 ba. Sorry, I realized that we talked further than where I was in my notes.
I think we go back over to the apartment to talk about what Jack really wants from Rachel
Yes,
now.
Jack says, "I want, for saving your life, the favor I'm asking for is peanut butter and jelly sandwich."
Yes.
And Eric responds with, "No, don't give yourself to him just because he saved your life. Life is to live."
Yeah. Kudos to Jack for not wanting to for doing that, to not hold it over her head at all.
Well, and we're seeing that Jack is still a good, solid guy.
Yes. He
And I
doesn't
like
hold
how he
out.
says,
It doesn't hold out for a date or anything like that. It's just make me a sandwich, and we're done.
yeah.
We're even.
And I like how Eric goes, "You have her in the palm of your hand." He goes, "Yeah. What would you have done in the situation?" He's like, "What? Because I like her and I respect her or something? Could I also have a sandwich?"
No.
So I will say,
I
Brett, this next scene we have should have been the crescendo piece of the episode. And I think if we didn't have this guest star to close out the episode, I think this would have been where everything went down. But because we had to get back to the whole problem ahead, we had to
mhm.
drop it. It's one of the things that bothers me because they do this a lot in Girl Meets World, where there's an issue, they get some advice, they mail it over, and then they resolve it later on.
Mhm. Yeah, this should have been the emotional the emotional breaking point for everyone, where everything is on the table,
Yeah.
and instead we get the talent show.
Yeah.
But
But I do love
I
this
do
scene.
love the scene, and I clipped a part of it.
Oh, please.
Why are you so ashamed of being average?
I'm,
Look at this
I'm
place.
not
Look
I'm
at
not
this place.
ashamed.
Touch it. Come on, touch it. Get some dirt on your hands. Try and see what average looked like from here. To me, average was a dream. That's why my father worked his butt off, so maybe his son could have something more. And I learned from him, Cory. And I respected him because he did the best that he could. And I was proud of him. And he would have been proud of me too. I don't know, maybe if my son thinks average is nothing, then I've done my job. But I'm sorry that you're not proud of him, of me, and of yourself.
Can we talk through a little bit of Alan's accomplishments real quick?
Oh, please.
He was in the Navy as a young man.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how long he served for, but he served in the Navy. He was a boxing champion in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
So there long enough and got respected from a lot of the men he served with. We don't always talk about that later on, but still, veteran. He
Mm-hmm.
then went back and worked his way up to become a manager of a food market store.
Yep.
He then quit that job and was able to find the way to buy his own store, successfully run it, where apparently he doesn't need much help from the rest of his family. But regardless, from what he's communicating about his father was he was a clock in, clock out guy. He did the best he could, and he believes that if his father could see what he's doing now, he would be proud of him.
Yep.
And if we can go back a little further, again, I know we haven't talked about this character since the first season, but you know, Alan's mom was not an average mom.
Oh, no.
She would miss important dates, she would miss important activities, she would forget to sign permission slips, she would forget all sorts of things, but then would do these spectacular big stunts and activities with her son to make up for it. So a goal for Alan was to be an average parent.
Yeah, he wanted
Not
to give his kids the stability that his mom could not provide,
right.
and to surpass what his dad was able to do. Every kid wants to be better than their parents were.
Yeah.
Most of us aren't dumb enough to look our parents in the eyes and tell them that we wish that we were.
Correct. We'll do that crying to our girlfriends.
Yeah, you bring up Alan's mom, and the first thing I think of is.
But, I think you and I can both relate to this situation because our fathers are blue collar men who
Mhm.
are both going to be working for a very long time, working hard because A, they want to, but B, sometimes they don't have much of a choice. And
My dad
are,
is 72 and is still working.
yeah. So they believe in working hard and strive to get more than their fathers had. And part of that was being stable and not flaking out on their kids and their kids being a priority.
Mhm.
So most people like me, Cory, and I'm assuming you, Brett, don't realize how privileged they are to be average until they're way too far into parenting to realize how special and unique their childhood really was.
Mhm. We do take it for granted.
Yeah, I agree. And by the we, you mean I?
Well, I agree that I did take it for granted myself.
No, sorry, I wasn't saying you directly to call you out. I was saying I, Tyler, did not for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's
Yeah.
talk about this talent show.
Okay, but first, before we get to the talent show, could we both agree that in a normal world, A, Cory would have apologized right there and then, and B, even if he didn't do it right there and then, before they got the talent show going, Cory would
Yeah.
have said, "I'm sorry."
He would have said something.
Right.
The
It's just so
relationship that they have, he
we
would
got to
have.
get to the joke, Brett. That's the whole point.
The joke comes first.
Yes, we got to talk about the fiery baton juggler.
The duck juggling, the fire
Uh-huh.
twirler, and the double jointed twins.
Which Alan cheers for, which going from this emotional moment to him clapping for two teenage girls with double
Double
joints is
jointed
weird.
twins. Kind of very, very off putting.
Yes.
All announced by a gentleman by the name of Mr. Cup. Did you know that was his name?
Yeah.
Jesse D. Goins. Only time we see him on Boy Meets World. 102 acting credits. Shows like
Nice.
Different Strokes, Taxi, Benson, The A-Team, RoboCop, L.A. Law, Seinfeld, ER, Mad About You, Titus, 24, NYPD Blue, Castle, Scandal, Superstore, and more.
Yeah. So Morgan's getting a little nervous and isn't sure what she's going to do. And Cory's is trying to, every time it cuts back to them, he's trying to apologize. His dad keeps kind of blowing him off, like, yeah, it's okay. What's up? And Cory is about to explode. Because if he doesn't find a way to communicate to his father how much he loves and appreciates him and all his sacrifices, he's not going to be able to live with himself. And do you have any of this clip, Brett?
I did not clip any of it.
That's okay.
Mostly,
We'll both sing it
mostly
together.
because I don't want any copyright strikes.
Yes. So
Which I know
Morgan
we get.
begins to sing "Wind Beneath My Wings." She's singing very lovely, I will say.
Oh, yes.
I'm glad they were able to add an actual skill that she has to her character and not just, throw out another voice. You could tell it's her singing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lindsay Ridgway's got a nice voice.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, Cory decides to make it a duet to make clear to Alan that he is his hero. And
Completely humiliating both of his parents in the process, as well as Morgan.
I love Betsy's acting as Amy in this scene, just mortified.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so awkward, cringy, of course, but in fairness to Cory, people keep delaying him communicating, including the executive producer.
Well, within the world of this, he waited until Morgan got on stage to offer his apology.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense, but that's when he
Doesn't make
decided to
sense.
offer his apology.
Yeah. So I do love that Alexander tries to say to Morgan, "You did so well. You sang so good," and Cory tries to go, "What about me?"
Yeah, nice little runner. I'm not supposed to lie.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to lie.
And Amy just says, we just leave.
Mm-hmm. I do like what Alan tries to say and what Alexandria finishes for him. You know when I knew my life was worth something? When I held you in my arms.
Mm-hmm. And he makes it clear that some people find their uniqueness in their skills and abilities. Some people find themselves in other things in their lives. It doesn't have to be what you can do. Your sense of identity, your sense of self-worth is going to be in something. It doesn't have to be in a skill or a talent or an ability. It can be something as simple as being a great dad.
It is, for me, my life felt most complete, full, and with purpose after my son was born, for sure. It really was sitting in the hospital looking at this little goober that had my eyeballs and going, "You are what gives me a sense of reason." Um, you know, I was in a really dark place before we had him, and just a light really came upon me whenever he was born. So I'm a dad. That's who I am.
Yeah.
I was awkwardly asked earlier today, "What's my strengths?" And I go, "Well, problem is a lot of my strengths I keep learning is not really a strength, and I have to find out what else is now a strength." But yeah, I do. I love okay. As far as the Cory over singing on his sister, making a duet, super cringe. It's not great. Um, at some point, I'm hoping that his dad could have given him the opportunity, just Cory missed it. I don't know, but from what we see, the only time after the whole incident is them sitting right before the performance of Morgan, and he was trying to apologize to him. Again, Sean's bad friend. But I do love how it ends, and that is that, hey, I'm your dad. You are the one that gives me the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I do want you to have a better life.
Yeah.
So, even for our kids, I want them to have a better life. And that doesn't mean going to college, unless they want to.
There you go.
So, Brett, we go one last time over to the apartment. Eric's apparently
dead.
Yeah, Eric apparently electrocuted himself and might need mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. But Rachel doesn't know how to
doesn't
do it.
know it. But Jack does.
Yes.
Wink, wink.
Oh yeah, that's good. Make fun of the dead. I was rewatching this with Grayson. He thought that was so funny. But Brett, that's an episode.
That is an episode. Well, in that case, let's talk about deep dives. You got any for us?
I do.
People. Am I the only one who read the summer reading list?
Let's get the big one out of the way, Brett. Alexandria Nikacha is a real life person.
That's right.
This show so often just they make up famous people and famous products and famous art. So like, honest to goodness, this came out in '98, so 2025. Last 17 years, I assumed. Not a real person.
Yeah.
So, born in 1985, is a Romanian American cubist painter and philanthropist. At age 12, she was dubbed Petite Picasso by the media and art community. She went to the University of California and actually has 2 children. Good for her. Got her start being what we can call as famous on Oprah. Um, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay, this will help. 1996, Alexandra had already delivered 17 or 16 solo exhibits of her paintings and at least 1.5 million in sales. hmm Apparently, she also got some attention in '97 when she was chosen to design the 39th annual Grammy Awards program. Um, yeah. Uh, I didn't find this, but she did. I did see in an interview she gave that apparently the highest price painting she's ever sold was for about 400,000.
Wow.
But she does have some duplicates out there that you can always find. That's not too bad. Oh, I did try to get more information about the piece that is there. Yes, actually, I did. So, Peace Collector is what it's called. 1998 limited edition, hand pulled. I can't. I have no idea what any of that is. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is what she says. Many of us collect things. We collect stamps or art or music. We do this with a lot of enthusiasm, excitement, love, and some of us uh, uh, ardent passion. Uh, it's that kind of passion and desire we need to cultivate and maintain when it comes to world peace. To keep To me, keeping world peace alive is the ultimate collection. So, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, you can buy a replica of that right now for about $3,500. Let's see here. Bango and Kazooie is platform game series developed by Rare, a British company. Game features a male bear named Banjo and his friend, a large female red bird named Kazooie. Both were who are controlled by the player. Made its debut in the character made its debut in 1997 as part of the Diddy Kong race. First game, Banjo and Kazooie, was released in 1998, critically acclaimed, and was followed by 3 sequels and a spin off racing game. So publishers were Nintendo, 1998 to 2000, THQ 2003 to 2005, Infusion 2005, and then Xbox Game Studios since 2008. So it was on Nintendo 64, I guess Nintendo Switch for redo, Game Boy Advance, Java Me, Xbox 360, and Xbox One.
My memory is definitely faulty then. I was not playing on a PlayStation.
Yeah, that's okay. Hi. I mean, honestly, though, most games back then was available on almost every single platform. So,
Oh, yeah.
or at least a version of it was available. Let's see here. Brett, if you had 1 yen, how many Russian rubles do you think you could get today?
20.
Ooh, a little too high. 11.15.
Eh,
Yeah. So how does it affect it? You got to have a crap ton in order to do well there.
yeah.
Participation trophies, Brett, as we both know, both hate them and both don't want to talk about them. Participation trophies are given to participants, usually children, regardless of their success. One of the first known mentions of participation trophies occurred in February 8th, 1922. And Massillon, Ohio. Apparently, the newspaper, the Evening Independent, an article of a high school basketball team tournament. Apparently, the Olympics also have used participation trophies as well.
Hmm.
So,
if you make it to the Olympics, you deserve to get a participation trophy.
and apparently, a wife believes that if you make it to the Olympics, you deserve a participation trophy.
All proof I've been there.
Wind Beneath My Wings, Brett, also referred to as Hero, apparently. Song written in 1982 by Americans Jeff Silbar and Larry Henley? Yeah. The big singer behind this chart stopper was Bette Midler from the soundtrack of the film Beaches.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the first version was released in 1989. Spent 1 week at #1 on the U.S. Billboard's Top 100 chart in June, and also won a Grammy for both Record of the Year and Song of the Year. Apparently, in October 1991, Medler's single was certified platinum. Apparently, at one point, it was the number 44 on the AFI's 100 Years, 100 Song survey. So, one of those songs that's very famous, and honestly, I think it's one of those you just kind of know it because you hear it and you sing it. And if you're a big fan of Boy Meets World, this is where you first heard the song. But Brett, let's talk about the Heimlich maneuver. First of all, it's not really recognized anymore as a way of helping people, but essentially, for those that don't know, is a first aid procedure used to treat upper airway obstruction by a foreign object, invented by Henry Heimlich. The foreign maneuver must thrust underneath the stomach and applying pressure above the stomach. I'm sorry, applying pressure to the diaphragm. Hello, Peanut Gallery.
The American Red Cross can't use the term Heimlich maneuver because of copyright issues with Henry Heimlich's. They use I can't remember the term they use, but it's now 5 black back blows and 5. Stomach pumps or something like that.
Did you catch any of that?
I caught that the Red Cross can't use the Heimlich maneuver anymore.
Yes. So, can you say that again, but a little louder?
The American Red Cross can't use the term Heimlich maneuver because of copyright issues slash lawsuits against the creator of the Heimlich maneuver or his
trustees,
yeah.
the state trustees.
Yeah. So it's not the Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah. So it's recommended now, as you were saying, for 5 blows to the back and then 5 thrusts.
Yes.
At the Heimlich position is what I will refer to it as.
Yes, my grandfather created this life-saving maneuver. I'm going to try and milk it for money.
Yeah.
Copyright it and make money off of it every time it's mentioned.
Might as well. But last and certainly not least, let's talk about an internal conflict. It's in a narrative or a story. An internal conflict is a struggle occurring within a character's mind, things such as a character yearns for but not quite reach, and as opposed to an external conflict in which a character is grappling with some force outside of themselves, such as wars or chain breaking off a bike. Weird. Basically, Brett, I wanted us to make sure we confirmed on the fact that Cory's battle is internal. It's not really about what is he good at. It's, is there something good about him and the way he was raised? And what does he want to do with the way he was raised? What does that mean for him as he continues forward in his life? And I stand firm on his friend is crappy and could have said anything to the effect of, I wish I had your life. And his fiance let him down because where was she in this whole mess, Brett?
Nowhere she should have
Hey!
been. That
You
I heard.
stepped towards him. Biggs is on my lap. Chill. She stepped right here, and then he turned because he knew she was there, and then she hisses at him. Like, golly.
He did that in the middle of the night last night.
I'm going to give these cats a Heimlich maneuver. Brett, those are the deep dives.
All right.
You know anything about the Odyssey? Huh? Did I say you could talk?
I didn't teach you that.
My friend Mr. Matthews will lead the discussion.
Do I have to draw you a picture?
Let's draw a picture for everyone by talking about what we learned. My Feeny lesson this week is don't let your kid get to the point where they despise who they are. Help them celebrate their gifts and abilities so they can build a strong sense of self-worth. Help them build a strong identity before it gets to the point where it will be reformed. Give them the solid groundwork, the solid framework that they'll need so that when they get to the age where everyone goes through that next stage of identity forging, that they've got something solid to stand on. What about you, Tyler? What did you learn?
Well, for starters, Brett, I learned that hearing some hard truth and recognizing it is not easy, but important for growth. More importantly, though, I learned that Sean's a bad friend. I legit at one point looked at Sarah and I went, Sean's a bad friend. She's like, what? I said, Sean's a bad friend. She goes, oh, I don't care. And I'm like, no, listen, you got to listen to me. It's like me first putting together this thought process. But no, Sean's a bad friend. That's what I realized in this episode. Sean is a bad friend this season. It's until he comes back and brings the old Seanness and the old balance of their relationship. I'll say this, Brett. After something like an engagement, relationships can be tested. There's a very real possibility that Sean and Cory's actual friendship is being tested with the engagement and also with them being roommates. A new dynamic has been formed in their relationship. How do they handle that? And right now, not well.
Not well at all.
Right.
Okay.
And I blame Sean.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Mostly because if Sean was going through a crisis right now, Cory would do anything to help him. Cory is currently going through an internal crisis, and Sean's there.
Sean's mocking him.
Eating pudding. That's another thing. I found Sean eating pudding.
I don't think she cares.
Will you
All right,
stop?
so let's grade this puppy.
It's because the bedroom door isn't open. He's pawing
She's
at the door.
annoyed because she wants to go to the bedroom. The other cat's trying to find out what's going on, so now she's growling at the little kitty. What is this life?
I don't know.
I'm right.
No, you're exactly right.
So am I done with my education? Can I go?
How do you grade better than the average Cory, Tyler?
Well, Brett, I think I know where you're going with your grading, and I want you to know that I too am concerned with my grade, and I'm surprised with the grade I'm going to give it, Brett, but I'm going to give it to him anyway. I'm giving it an A minus.
An A minus. All right.
Yes. Here's why.
Okay.
To be very firm and direct. Cory's going through a true crisis, and the fact that the show was able to bring on someone and bring that out of him, it's a real life person, didn't realize that. So kudos to them even more. I'm more impressed by that now than I was before. But yeah, no, I like what he goes through, and the fact that he's in the spiral, his friend's not helping him, but that's going to be his life. And how is he going to respond to that? This is a real good test for Cory as he's growing and maturing, and maybe in the future he won't interrupt his sister's talent show. But it's not today.
Definitely not today.
Brett, give me your most likely D minus grade.
Well, it's a D, but I'm going to give it a D plus. The Alan and Cory stuff at the end keeps it from being any lower. I said it in the middle of I said it a couple times. The script needed more time to bake. It needed more passes. We talked about how his friends needed to be actual friends. They had opportunity to. We talked about how everything else just went out of my head.
I don't know. We talked.
We talked about it all through there. It's just the whole episode needed more time to bake, and I do not feel that ending cringe is earned through everything.
That's fair. I don't disagree with you. I think I just developed more of a personal connection to this episode more than I realized. So,
and Eric and Jack fighting over Rachel again 1 week after they decided they won't do it. I mean, come on.
They agree that they respect and like Rachel as a person and not just as a piece of meat, Brett.
Yeah, they did that in episode 2.
Sometimes you have to keep relearning lessons.
Yes, you do. But I mean,
I'm sure there's still something Kelly's trying to teach you that you just won't do, and she's not ready to give up on you yet.
Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, yeah. So, Tyler, I believe you owe me a dad joke before we close this puppy down.
I do. Let's see what we got here. Brett, what did the canvas say to the paint?
Something about covering me.
Stop brushing me off. I don't want to subscribe. Stop making me. Let's try this one, Brett. What did the students say when the art teacher asked why she was staring at an empty piece of paper?
What?
I'm drawing a blank. Last one, Brett. What do you call a painting by a cat?
Possum?
A portrait.
Ah.
It feels accurate.
Well, good looking people, that's it for us for this week. You can keep the conversation going online and on any of our social media channels at dadsmeetworld across Facebook, Instagram, or X / the old Twitter. We're not really active on Twitter, though, so Facebook and Instagram is really where we're at.
Yep.
You can also send us an email at dadsmeetworld@gmail.com. I'm tired today.
Yeah.
dadsmeetworld@gmail.com. Don't try the Geneva address. It won't work. You'll get a bounce back. And we'll see if you leave us a like or a rating, however you wherever you find us, wherever you listen to us. It helps people find us and helps us share the dad love. Helps us to say, hey, who's your pod daddy?
Yeah.
So until next time, I'll see you, good looking.
You know, how can I learn so much every week and still be so stupid? I want to be normal, Spud. Was that duckies? No. Garbage. Ow, that hot. Read the Bible.
This is good TV.
Dads Meet World is a production of Headfirst Studios. Headfirst Studios. Tell your story.